Disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke.
When you say the party is self-destructing, what do you see as the biggest problem with the Reform Party right now?
Well, you've got David Duke just joined, a bigot, a racist, a problem. I mean, this is not exactly the people you want in your party.
So are you prepared right now to make a clear and unequivocal statement renouncing the support of all white supremacists?
Of course I am. Of course I am.
How many times do I have to reject? I've rejected David Duke. I've rejected the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan.
About the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans.
In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy.
How many times do I have to reject? I've rejected David Duke. I've rejected the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. From the time I'm 5 years old, I rejected them. Now, I have been asked this question so many times. I have rejected it so many times.
Does the president denounce white supremacism and groups that espouse it in all their forms?
This has been answered yesterday by the president himself, the day before by the president himself on the debate stage. The president was asked this. He said, sure, 3 times. Yesterday, he was point blank asked, do you denounce white supremacy? And he said, I've always denounced any form of that. I can go back and read for you in August 2019, in one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. In August of 2017, racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups. I have an entire list of these quotes that I can go through with you. He has condemned white supremacy more than any president in modern history.
Just to clear it up this morning, can you, naming it, make a declarative statement that you denounce, that the president denounces it?
I just did. The president has denounced this repeatedly. The president was asked this. You're contriving a storyline and a narrative.
I'm just asking you to put
He
this
said,
to rest.
I just did. I read you all of the quotes, and if you need to see them in writing, I will put them in an email. Hold on.
So, Kayleigh, can you right now denounce white supremacy and the groups that espouse it?
I just did. The president has denounced white supremacy, the KKK, and hate groups in all forms. He signed a resolution to that effect. The president just last week, perhaps you all weren't covering it, but just last week expressed his desire to see the KKK prosecuted as domestic terrorists. This president had advocated for the death penalty for a white supremacist, the first federal execution in 17 years. His record on this is unmistakable, and it's shameful that the media refuses to cover it.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. And I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm
prepared
to
specifically
do it?
Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. Do you want to call them? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
who would
white
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left.
How do I fit in that? Yeah. If they so racist and if they're white supremacists, how do I fit in that? That don't make sense. Yeah. You know, as you can see, I'm a proud boy. You know, we're not a hate group. I'm not racist. You
guys are on the whole party, so the party might be a shit show.
I don't support white supremacy.
So we'll see how
Proud Boys don't support white supremacy. You condone that shit.
The simple statement, Proud Boys is basically a drinking club with a patriot problem. Is basically what we are. We're a men's fraternity first before anything else. The political stuff is a small portion of the Proud Boys are actually political, but a large portion of us are just dudes that just want to get out once a month and drink beer with the boys.
All right, last question for you. Proud Boys get slandered often as being Nazis, white supremacists, racists, white nationalists. You don't look like you're completely a white man. I don't know what race you are, but how do you respond to that?
My family came from Cuba.
What is the message that you are trying to send? Because a lot of people see the message as one of intolerance, xenophobia, racism. What is the message that you are trying to actually send?
Just a second ago, you mentioned people of color, right?
Yeah.
And you said, and I'm a person of color, right? I'm Cuban, yeah. Right? My family, 2 of my family members got killed in Castro's regime. So it's a difference of opinion, whether it's people of color, white people. It's always about race. Our message isn't, today our message wasn't about race. Our message has never been about race. When you join our ranks, we don't ask you what race you are, what religion you are. We just accept you for who you are.
What made you want to be a Proud Boy?
You know, I checked them out, you know, I did research on them, and you know, and they say they all these things that I haven't seen that, you know. They believe in God, freedom, and the Constitution, you know, and that's what I believe, you know, we have the same values.
Security advisor John Bolton is joining us right now. He's the author of a new and best-selling book entitled The Room Where It Happened, a White House memoir. There you see the book cover. Ambassador Bolton, thank you so much for joining us. You worked with him on a daily basis for a long time. You saw him every single day. Why can't the president simply say that he condemns white supremacist groups? Simply say, I condemn white supremacy, white supremacist groups. Why is that so hard for him?
Because he doesn't see it as being in his political interest. He is a past master at saying many things about the same subject. So he can say to the Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. And by the way, people should listen to how he used that line in the debate. He had practiced it. He had thought about it. He knew exactly what he was saying. And he allows that to sink in, and then a short time later, he sort of contradicts it. And, you know, by Friday, he may well condemn white supremacy unequivocally, but he's getting the benefit out of the ambiguity during the interim, and he knows it, and he does this all the time.
What did he mean when he said to this group, the Proud Boys, what did he mean when he said stand back and stand by?
I took that to mean just back off for now, but to put it a different way, keep your powder dry. I thought it was a real threat, and I think he knew exactly what he meant.
Yeah, that's what I suspected. That's what I feared as well.